go.
Happy Tuesday. You are listening to Real Talk with Karen Stacy live on MiamiMikeRadio.com. And tonight I have the most special guest that God I could ever have, right? That was you are my world, my life.
Person that you created.
Yes, person that I created, that we created, right? You were made from great love. I will tell you that.
Ooh, I'm seeing some hearts.
You're seeing hearts.
Chat
Look at that.
Thing
you are
there,
too much.
No,
Listen, don't steal the show, all right? Hold on a second. I didn't even introduce you yet.
I know. I think they might know who I am from a previous show that I might have did.
Maybe done. Back. Yes, maybe they do know you from a previous show, or they also know you because anybody that follows my show hears me talk about you all the time. So they kind of know that I have like this kid, you know.
Gosh.
Yeah, they kind of know that, and so maybe that's why I'm going to get in here. So now I want to introduce you guys. Yes, it's my first day with my new tongue. I want to introduce you guys to my Noah Joseph.
Hello. Oh God, it sounds like when I was talking to the dog.
Yes, and it just goes right through you.
Honestly.
So what are we listening to today? What show are we on?
Real Talk with Karen Stacy live on MiamiMikeRadio.com. Also on Facebook.
Very good. Yes, and do you know what app you can listen to as well?
What app you can listen to?
It's the TuneIn app. Yeah, you didn't know that.
I know there's like a vlog thingamahoogie thing.
Negative. Okay, anyway. So yes.
All right.
So you guys are listening to Mr. Noah Joseph.
Hello very much.
And Noah, whenever I start my show, I always ask people, who are you? Now, I mean, obviously I know who you are, but our listeners out there need to know, who are you?
I am a 10-year-old kid that is this woman right here.
This woman.
Son. And, crazy. And then, nothing much else.
That's it? You're just a 10-year-old that belongs to me? That's it? That's what.
Have to go through the tortures of school, have a dog, have to have 2 dogs.
Uh-huh.
Have grandparents, lots of them. Lots of family and things.
Thank God.
Things.
So, okay. So you are a 10-year-old boy.
Yes.
Whose interests are driving me crazy on a continual basis.
Listen to this one right here.
Wait, and you absolutely love school.
I hate school.
You love homework.
Oh, God. I might just walk off.
And you're walking off set, that's it? You pack it up, pack it in.
Oh, God. I feel so bad for the viewers hearing me laugh so loud.
That's okay.
Mike and this.
Hopefully, yes. I haven't
seen the chat blow up yet.
I haven't heard yet from anybody. Hopefully we sound good and we're not making everybody's ears go crazy, because between you and I, everybody probably needs to open up a bottle of wine.
Oh gosh, are we gonna get off this topic?
Okay, so now, all right, shush up you.
Really,
all right. So wait a second. So now you're a 10-year-old boy. Now tell everybody what you enjoy doing.
Annoying my mom.
Yes.
Driving my mom crazy.
Yes.
Playing with my dog.
Yes.
Playing on video games. Why am I turning this way?
Playing on video games.
Occasionally going to the park.
Let's tell everybody the freaking video games that you play.
Fortnite.
Wait, take a pause. Fortnite. Every parent out there that's listening right now, hit that freaking button and let me know that your kids are on Fortnite.
The like button.
The like button, but there's a bunch of buttons. They could put the sad button, they could put the angry button, they could put some button, because I gotta tell you that Fortnite is like crazy. And then you gotta buy, how much money do I gotta spend? They gotta buy clothes, they gotta, what do I spend money on with Fortnite?
They're called skins, emotes, and pickaxes.
Okay, so yes, for some reason.
Oh, we have a sad emote.
So a sad one, because parents are feeling my pain right now with the Fortnite incident. Stay still. So now, you enjoy playing Fortnite.
I also enjoy playing various games on Roblox.
Roblox. Anybody else out there, parents, Roblox, you feel my pain? Are you with me?
Oh, I see the chat.
Yes, well,
kaboom.
I need to see. Are we kabooming? I need
How
lights.
do you sound?
I need something. Yeah, look at you, Mr. Soundcheck. Listen, I'm still the star of the show, all right? So simmer down.
No, I'm just trying to help you.
I'm only kidding, Daddy. I don't care. I'm teasing you. Okay, so now, so you like to play video games, and then
occasionally go to the park.
Right, you like to go to the park. And now, what is the other thing that you do constantly that I want to shoot myself in the head? I know this is like a real.
Ask where my dog is every 2 seconds?
Okay, that too. I was gonna say you might have 100 things to say to that. But what is it that you do most of the time that you have on in the house and I want to shoot myself in the head? YouTube. Parents, anybody out there listening? YouTube, Fortnite, Roblox. YouTube, shoot me now. Anybody? I mean, Bueller.
Going once, going twice, going 3 times. Sold.
Oh my God, it's like torture. I don't know what you guys go through with this, but like the YouTube, especially at one point, I had to stop him. They watch videos of people playing video games. Okay? They watch videos of people playing video games. So then you have them all, and they all talk with that sing-songy voice. Anybody that has children that has YouTube on in their house all the time, you gotta be feeling me right now. What did I do to you last year?
I think that you let me like 30 minutes of watching people who like played games and talked to like.
No, I told you no more idiots because you were emulating.
Hold on,
them.
didn't we talk about this the last time that we did the show?
I don't think so.
Yes, we did.
All right, well then I'm repeating myself.
Yes, you are.
Well, listen, you. Well, you are listening to Real Talk with Karen Stacy live on MiamiMikeRadio.com, and
with her son that likes to annoy her.
And I have my little shit ass with me. I mean, the love of my life.
A little late, Mom.
I mean, the love of my life. And so we are just discussing the life of a 10-year-old. And I know that, you know what, I have a lot of adults out here that probably saw my post and were thinking, oh, Jesus, do I really want to see a 10-year-old? Do I really want to listen to a 10-year-old? But he is my kid, so he's got a lot to say, and he's definitely got a lot of personality. So I assure you that this hour will not be as torturous as you think it might be, because he actually is quite entertaining. Actually, when I took him for his physical a couple of months back.
Mom, don't even. I took him for his physical. We were going back and forth, and the woman at the receptionist the receptionist says to me, you guys should like take this act on the road or something. Like, you guys are awesome. I said, well, that's funny because I have a talk show and he has a YouTube
channel. I said, so, it's you got us right. So she's like, you guys are a freaking trip. So I think we'll keep you entertained for this next hour. Or you guys will all start drinking heavily, one or the other. I can't say for sure.
I'm going to go promote my YouTube channel.
You what?
I'm going to go promote my YouTube channel.
You can promote your YouTube channel.
All right,
Stay still.
My YouTube channel is called Nerf No Joseph. If your kids want to watch them, if you do have kids, the question is, they can go check me out on YouTube. And I want to try and get to 100 subscribers by the end of this year.
You know what? And that's so doable right now because I have thousands of people in this group. So if everybody that's on here goes on to YouTube, so what do they type in?
Nerf Noah Joseph.
Nerf Noah Joseph.
And currently I have 25 or 26 subscribers. So I'm 75 or 74 away from my goal, guys. Come on!
All right, so you guys, even if you don't have a YouTube channel, just or a YouTube account, but doesn't everybody have a YouTube account at this point?
Yes.
All right, so you guys gotta go on. I mean, I think you have more people on your YouTube than I do on mine. So I mean,
which is weird because you have a talk show with thousands of followers and you have like 2 subscribers.
I know,
I
but
have 25.
It's a different type of
I've
thing.
had it around for like 4 years. You haven't had it too long.
Oh, I see. I'm sorry.
Wait, one of them you have your lip sense thingy mahooji on you.
Right, it's the same. It's the same channel.
Whatever.
But okay. So anyway, so go on to Nerf
Noah Joseph.
Nerf Noah Joseph.
Type it in on the search bar up top on YouTube. Hopefully, all of you guys know where that is by now. And then click that subscribe button. Click that bell. Get notified when I post anything. And yeah. Please.
All right, I'm just going to leave. You just continue the show. I'll go inside and go play with the dog. I think you got this. I think you got this. I think you're good.
I think so.
I think you're good.
Just sit me here for 2 hours and I just talk to these guys.
Yeah, why not? I think so. I think so. So now you have been asking me, you've been wanting to come on my show now for
quite a while.
Yeah, for a while. And now we changed the time and it's at 8 o'clock and, you know, I'm like the Gestapo and you got to go to bed at 9 o'clock. I don't want to know nothing. And I'm letting you stay up a little bit later today so you can stay with us. I probably won't have him on the whole time. But I'm going to have him on for about an hour or so, as long as
maybe an hour 15.
As long as he behaves himself. Unfortunately, my son wakes up with the birds. Don't touch nothing. My son wakes up with the birds in the morning.
Yes, I do.
So if I let him stay up later, you know, usually the rule of thumb that everybody says, if you let your kids stay up later, they'll wake up later. So there's something wrong with my kid because that don't happen. He's an early riser, and unfortunately, so is our puppy. So I finally trained this one to leave me alone in the morning.
But now we have a new issue.
But now we have a new little shit in the house. And she is, so we get our faces licked.
At like 6 in the morning.
Earlier sometimes, because she's in my room with me, and then she's licking my face.
And then she'll come in my room.
And then she sneaks into his room.
And then I'll be up for like 10 minutes, and then she'll just start licking the bleeds out of me. And then I'll have to go downstairs, make sure that she eats nothing or anything, make sure that she eats, use the bathroom, then go back upstairs, come back downstairs. Ugh.
Well, that's something I wanted to talk about, though. Right? I mean, what you have been asking me for a good while now, that you have been asking for a dog, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And I told you that we weren't ready yet, right?
Yeah, you did. Yeah, how's that working out?
Well, and then we both decided, I said that I thought I was ready, and I knew that's what you wanted. But now let's talk about that. You know, is having a puppy a big responsibility? Huh. Yeah, all right. Well, on a talk show, nobody can see your eyes open up to the size of, you know. But yes, the size of the sun. Thank you. But yes, it is.
Oh, boy, the chat is blowing up, but this is slow.
Okay, so tell everybody, is it a big responsibility to have
Oh, yes.
Why?
Oh, gosh. Everything. Every aspect about training a dog. Oh, my. Like playing with it, making sure to use bathroom, eating, feeding something. Wait, eating and feeding is the same thing. What?
Right.
So eating, drinking stuff. I'm usually not here in the weekdays because I'm in school.
Right. So you have to now. Mommy has been making you be responsible, right?
Yes.
And so in the morning, since we all know, aren't I just so lovely in the morning?
Oh no, you are not. You would kill anybody if you woke up.
Well, no, I do get woken up, but and you knew the rule not to speak until I was caffeinated, but for some reason you have not been following. Please don't do that. For some reason you have not been following the rules on that, and talking before I'm caffeinated never ever works well. Right? Yes. So now, what do you do? What do you do with the dog? Like, how do you help mommy do that?
In the morning, she'll come downstairs, and then I'll follow her. Well, yeah, all mornings. And then she'll use the bathroom. I'll give her the treats for it, and then I'll go on the couch and like maybe help take her out sometimes. Make sure that she has food and water in her bowl, and cleaning up what she uses on the bathroom.
When she goes poopy potty.
Oh, God, Mom, please.
That's okay. We can say poopy potty on the air. It's okay.
Oh, God. This is so cringy.
Oh, God. Mom, did you just say that?
Yes.
Oh, my God. You're so cringy.
I'm acting like a 20-year-old.
You're so cringy. So it's a lot, right? And so now you always have to, like, know where the dog is, right?
Oh.
What the dog is doing.
Yeah.
And now you get a little neurotic with the dog.
No, not just a smidge bit, like...
A lot.
Bigger than the bar.
Yeah, you get neurotic. I mean, which is probably a little bit of my fault too, because I'm always trying to make sure I know where she is.
Oh yes. Oh
right.
yes.
But we understand that it's our responsibility.
It's so much easier with Suzy
to keep the puppy safe, because if you don't know where they are, and
they could be doing something naughty, like trying to eat a rug.
Right, but
which
then
our dog does.
Right, but if they eat the rug, besides them eating the rug, they can get sick if they eat that, right? They could choke, they could whatever. So it's our job to protect the dog so that the dog is safe, correct?
Yeah.
Don't pay attention to all these things going on. Focus on mommy.
What do you mean nothing's going on?
Focus on mommy. No, you're looking at my phone. You're looking at this. Just focus.
Aren't I supposed to be looking at the computer?
You can look at the computer, but I mean, mind your business. Just pay attention to what I'm saying to you, because you're losing your train of thought. You got to stay with me. Stay with me, kid. All right. So that's the first thing. But now, what have you learned from us having the dog?
Quite a lot of things. Number one, the voice that you have to use when she does anything good goes right through you.
Yes.
What else? Her poops stink.
They really don't. She's a little Tootsie Roll. They don't stink.
It's hard to train her.
You've learned what a big responsibility it is, correct?
I mean, having a goldfish when I was younger was really big responsibility.
Dude, your goldfish jumped out of the freaking...
Not that one, the catfish.
Okay.
Catfish, goldfish, whatever. You know what I mean?
Whatever. Yes, and you didn't take care of it. You know.
Mom, I was like 4 years old.
Exactly. All right.
I was supposed to take care of it without step stool.
Right. Okay. So now, how do you feel about having our puppy? I mean, we have our Suzy, and you didn't know when you were a baby, when Suzy was a baby. So
I kind of grew up together.
A little bit. And so now that she's older, and Nana and Papa have her now.
And now she's a fatty.
And Nana and Papa feed her, so now they wonder why her hips... Nana. They wonder why her hips don't work.
Oh, wait.
Yeah, we
wonder why her hips don't.
Yes, they wonder why. Just like I send you downstairs, you come up and you're 30 pounds heavier.
You had to mention that. You actually just had it. You had to. Stop breaking my weight. You're killing me.
Anyway.
So
you didn't really have the experience with Suzy because you were a baby as well.
Yeah.
So now now Suzy's old and she's cranky, so she's a little different.
She's not really cranky. She's still a love muffin.
She's a love muffin, but she's a little bit cranky because she don't want to be bothered sometimes because her hips hurt and all of that. So
she's on the couch like 24/7.
Right. It's very different than having a puppy, right?
Oh, yeah. Puppy's super psycho.
Right.
Like, she'll spin around and try getting her tail, and then all of a sudden, I'll, like, squeak her toy and throw it over, and she'll go, "Bleh!" And then I'll hold out, like, a monkey arm, then she'll get it, I'll fling her around, and it's crazy.
So how do you feel now about us having the dog? What
I feel happy.
You feel happy.
Because it's finally accomplished. I wanted the puppy for ages. And I finally got it.
But now,
and she's so loving, and I love her.
Didn't Mommy promise you that we would? I said to you, I
yes,
promise.
You did.
I said I promise I will.
Yes, you did. Yes,
and
you
I
did.
think I always come through on my promises.
Yes, you
right?
do. Maybe it's not immediate,
right?
But you still do.
Absolutely. Well, because I told you that I wasn't ready yet, and that was the issue.
And I was the one who bugged you.
Well, no, we made the decision together, but it's a big responsibility. And the other thing too is that, it wasn't so easy, I think, for either one of us, and probably more so for me, to bring this little love muffin into our world and open up our hearts again, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's not easy, right?
Yeah, it's not easy.
But it brings us
joy.
Great joy, right? And I think that we have laughed more in the past. How long do we have it now? A month?
Almost 2. Wait.
A month and change.
No. This Sunday, this Sunday it's going to be 2 months.
I don't think it's that long.
Like this Sunday or like the next Sunday it's going to be 2 months.
Yeah, I don't think it's that long.
Because April we've had her for a month. And this month it's going to be 2 months.
Yeah, all right. I would say maybe 5 weeks or so. I have to look at the calendar. But anyway, I would say that since she's been in the house, with the exception of the fact that I don't really sleep now, and I'm freaking exhausted. But
I can disagree with that.
Yeah, but I think we have laughed, we just laugh, right?
We laugh. After we gave her the bath, she was just like...
Right, we gave her a bath, and she flew all over the house after that and was trying to rub up against everything. That was really funny. That's true.
We were laughing for like 20 minutes straight.
Yeah, that was really a funny, that was definitely a funny...
moment.
Yes, that was a funny moment. So we've definitely laughed and we've definitely loved, right?
Oh, yeah.
Right? So with the exception of the fact that, Saturday night, we did our birthday bash at Noma, right? It was Miami Mike's official birthday party.
Yeah.
And Mommy was there and hosted with Miami Mike, and all of the Miami Mike DJs were there. Yeah. So we were partying all night long. The music was banging straight through until they literally were throwing us out of there. I mean, I've never experienced that before. They were literally like, please, you have to go into the lobby. Like, you can't be in here anymore. We danced until they turned the lights on. So Mommy and I met a lot of our followers and a lot of people were there, right? But I met a gentleman by the name of Derek Florin, who's also a DJ and an entertainer, a real sweetheart, and we were chatting. And next thing I know, it's late. So I got home, this 49-year-old dirty stay out. I walked in.
At like 5 o'clock in the morning.
After 5, when my dog and my child were waking up. So... yeah, that's fun. And it's like, and I said, the both of you go someplace. Mommy's got to lay down for a few minutes. I just have to sleep for a few minutes.
Yeah, how did that work out?
Right, well, it didn't work out that great. I think you gave me a little bit of time.
I did.
You and the dog, and then the dog came back in, and then you were good, and then you came back in like, I don't know, an hour or two later because you were going to go to the park with your papa.
No, it wasn't. That was a school day.
No, it wasn't, ding dong. Oh. That was Sunday. So, So anyway, that's this old lady.
Mom, no, it wasn't. It was a school day because you weren't feeling good the night after.
No, that was my Thursday night thing. That was not Saturday night thing. All right, trust me. I know what I did, and I know what time I came home. And you were home, and so it was Sunday morning. Trust me, it was after the birthday blowout. So yeah, there was no sleep that took place. So any of you single parents out there, you could feel me on this one too. We got Fortnite, we got Roblox, we got YouTube, and we got Team No Sleep. Yeah. So that was that. Yes. So tell them what they're listening to.
Real Talk with Karen Stacy live on MiamiMikeRadio.com, also Facebook.
Yes. And
from 8 to 10 p.m.
Yes, and my special guest this evening is my little man, my crazy child. Stop it, you. The love of my life, Mr. Noah Joseph. All right, so now Noah, you wanted to come on my show and you wanted to talk about a couple of things.
Oh boy, quite a lot.
So let's talk about what you wanted to discuss.
What I wanted to discuss? Oh, quite a few things.
I know, so let's go.
One of the things that I wanted to discuss was the tortures of school.
All right.
I know I might have like a teacher or two on this.
You think so? That's okay. They know you don't like school. Trust me. It's no surprise to anyone that knows you.
And then the homework.
All right, so now let's discuss this. The tortures of school. What is so torturous about school?
Mom, I don't even have to answer that.
No, you do have to answer it. It's a talk
everything.
Show. Oh my. All right, like what?
Schoolwork, math, language, ELA, arts, everything.
Because why? You find that there's...
Because I have like 60 bajillion homework assignments.
Okay.
Like I have 20 or 30 things due this week.
So now, you find this to be stressful?
Yes! 20 to 30 homework assignments when you're 5th grade. Yes.
Okay, so 5th grade, let's try to be articulate, and I understand that you're getting a little wacky about this, and I understand completely. But let's get our point across so that people understand this, because we talked about this. I know Grandpa and we talk about this a lot, right? And we say that we feel that a lot of the curriculums now in school is very, rigorous.
What?
It's difficult. There's a lot to it. So, and then, so you feel that you're stressed out in school? Like you're physically stressed? Like, is it just too much work or is the work
like
too
today,
hard?
No, like physically just stressed. Like today, I had to walk to the bathroom, take like a 20-minute break of bashing my fist on the wall.
Bashing your fist on the wall. Oh, that's lovely. And why would you want to do something like that?
Because the teachers wouldn't let me play with the stress toys until I finished my thing of work. And then, whatever.
But wait a second. But why were you, this is the first I'm hearing about this. What was so stressful? What were you stressing about?
It's because, there was this thing of work, and then I kept telling a kid to stop talking for 30 minutes, and then...
Oh my God! You asked someone to stop talking, and they did it,
because
and it was
teacher said for the kid to stop talking as well.
Oh my God! I ask you to stop talking all the time. Now
that's because I'm not doing homework or work.
Okay.
I do talk quite a lot when I'm doing homework.
No, not you. All right. So anyway, so now you feel that the work day itself has a lot in it. Is that what you're saying? That you're covering a lot of ground. Is that what you mean?
Yeah.
See now,
I want to do 6 or 7 things a day. It's ridiculous.
So now you are also in Montessori, which is a very interesting. Which is very interesting because the whole concept to Montessori is that every child should be an individual and everyone should work individually. And so it's very interesting that and it's supposed to be just easy, no pressure, and it's, what are you looking at me like I'm a crazy person?
Because everything you just said was a total lie.
No, not a lie. Maybe you don't feel that way.
Like 6 other kids in my class do the same thing.
Okay, but I'm just trying to listen to me, simmer down. I'm trying to say that the Montessori the Montessori teaching is supposed to have a different teaching, and a technique, if you will. So, but you still have to learn what you have to learn. So, yeah, I get that it's stressful, but see, the thing that I find, disturbing, I guess you could say, for a lack of a better word, would be that you, I guess, are going through that during the day, and then you come home, and now you have all this homework in addition.
Yes.
So, and then let's also talk about the summertime.
Oh, God. They give us 4 workbooks and 6 packets. It's ridiculous.
Yes, and it's true.
And the packet's 12 pages.
Now, and I just want to go on the record by saying that, I believe very strongly in education, 100%.
Oh, yes, I think that we know this.
And I will, well, I'm talking to my listeners right now. I will sell my organs to make sure that my son has a good education. And to me, life is very difficult, and you need an education. You need a strong foundation so that you can become anything and anyone you want to be.
Yeah.
So I feel that, the best investment that you can ever make is in your children's education. And that's just my personal opinion. When I was younger, I went to private school up until high school because I went to a vocational high school. I went to performing arts high school, and that was a vocational, but it was a public. But the educational part of that school was lacking. And I personally feel that whatever knowledge I have or my foundation came from the private schools. I went to Montessori school as well. So your brain is programmed to think a certain way. Your problem solving is done a certain way. So I think that that's very important because that's the base. A lot of people say, if they're in kindergarten or they're in first grade, what do you got to go through all that for? It doesn't matter. Wait until they get older. In my opinion, the brains are sponges at that point. And so basically, you learned a lot of things.
You're still sponges now.
You're still sponges.
Until you're 25.
Yeah, and then after 25, your brain turns to mush. But no.
25 is the time where if you want to get anything done, there's your chance.
Yeah, well, hopefully you got somewhere by then. But I think that it's very stressful on the children. Stop doing that, you. It's very stressful on the children, and it's also very stressful on the parents. I mean, when you were in, kindergarten, first grade, and you had homework, and
ridiculous.
I used to say to you,
Noah, do your homework!
And what else did I say? How many glasses of wine is this homework going to take me?
You
right?
took 2.
I was like, is this a 1 or 2 glass?
It usually was 2.
Session of homework, right? And it's true. And you sit there, and then for all of us parents, right, we all sit there, do your homework. Shut up, do your homework. Sit down, do your homework. Stop it, turn the TV off.
Everything.
Don't look at that. Do
Pikachu.
Right? Right? I mean, and it's true. And really, us parents are tortured because, we have to make sure they do it, right? And now, obviously, he's bigger now. So, he can do his own homework. And then thank God for Siri, right? Because Siri, or whatever she translates all your homework for you, your Spanish homework.
I'm like, wait, what? Como de está tú? I was like, what?
She translates his homework.
Tú? I was like, what?
Right, I felt like when I talk to him, I feel like, our parents, you have to walk to school. Well, we had no shoes when we had to walk to school. And I say to him, you have to do a report? Oh, big deal. You have to freaking look it up online. Are you kidding? We used to have to go to the library and look it up and actually go in a book. That freaking encyclopedia and all that stuff is how we used to do homework. Now, he's so freaking lazy, he does a Google search, and let's say he's researching... what
am I supposed to do? Find 20 books about, I don't know, Parkinson's or something? I don't know.
Right, so let's just say you were researching Parkinson's. He'll bring it up, but he won't actually click on the site. He'll just read the 2 sentences.
I will click on the site.
Right, because I said to you, you better click on that
Mom,
and read it.
I take the links, I look at the thing, make sure that it has the information, put it on my dock, and then when I need to, I go on it, read through it.
Right.
Listen, I'm not that bad.
That's it. And guess what? And they copy and paste.
I do not copy and paste for your information.
When we copied and paste, well, we didn't copy and paste. We used to write it. It was called, we were copywriting or whatever, and they used to tell us plagiarism. And we weren't allowed to write it verbatim. We had to put it into our own words.
Oh, I know that. Oh, boy.
You told me you can copy and paste.
We can copy and paste, but then we have to put it into our own words.
Oh. So what?
Torture.
Right. Hashtag torture. So you put in the word the.
No.
You take out the word at.
No, like, you'd have the sentence like, the cat was brown and fluffy and fat or something.
Uh-huh.
Like the cat was enormous with, I don't know,
so
black legs with a hairy head. What? I don't know.
So you change like 3 words, and now it's you. Okay.
Like you change the whole sentence, like you alter its mental state. Wait, what?
All right. Whatever.
You alter a sentence's mental
I don't
state.
know. You're on a whole nother planet.
Yes,
here.
I am.
Okay. Well, you guys are listening to Real Talk with Karen Stacy
live on MiamiMikeRadio.com and on Facebook Live. Or Facebook Live. Oh gosh.
Okay. And next to me is my little
son.
Yes, thank you. No one knew that. Next to me is my little shit ass. I mean son, Noah. Who is
is that Nana?
Is that yes?
Oh,
Nana
yes, it is
on. Hi,
hey,
Karen
Nana.
and Noah. See, Nana tuned in. She had to hear you.
Good.
Oh, see that? You got more fans than me.
What do we have? 14 viewers? How many?
You got more
how many
fans
does
than
Sam
me.
have?
I don't know.
Mommy, pause it.
It fluctuates.
Mommy, pause.
Okay, it fluctuates. Don't worry about that. Don't worry about the numbers. All right, so we're talking about the stresses of school because this was something that Noah really wanted to discuss. So you wanted your perspective on life from being a child.
Yes.
So no, this wasn't just school. This was perspective on life, right?
Yes.
So what is your perspective on life as a child?
It's a big world. You know how people say it's small world. No, it's not a small world.
Okay.
And it's a humongous world if you look at the globe and how to do researches on like 4 different parts of the world.
Okay.
Which I've done.
Okay.
It's confusing. It might be confusing for adults right here.
All right, wise ass. Keep it moving.
Fun.
So life in your perspective is fun.
Raging.
What was that word?
Raging or fuming.
Raging or fuming.
Which is what I do at school and when I'm doing my homework because I've had like 6 hours of homework in total this week.
Okay, so meaning you're raging.
# triggered.
Oh, so the homework triggers you to become a crazy man.
School and homework trigger me.
Okay. All right.
# triggered.
Okay. All right. And what else? What other perspective do you have on life, my child?
It's hard.
It's hard. Why do you find life hard?
A bunch of different things.
So break it down.
School.
Right. We got that one.
Homework.
We got that one.
Having a puppy.
We got that one.
Having 2 dogs.
Okay, we got that one.
Did we?
Well, we're good now. Go ahead.
Trying to make new friends that you don't. That's actually not that hard.
Well, sometimes no. I mean, making new friends is definitely difficult,
Nana
right?
says it was Thursday.
Yeah,
what?
Don't worry about that. It's on a delay, and it wasn't Thursday. It was Saturday.
Mom, I know that it's a delay.
Okay. Thank you very much. Let's get
You're
back
very
to
much
the
welcome.
Let's get back to the point.
It's not like I'm trying
so
to
we're trying.
I'm a dog.
We're trying to discuss. Okay, so friends, making friends. Oh, look! If look at you, you're actually tired. That's amazing. Making friends. You did have some issues in school.
Yeah, mamma mia.
For a few years with kids that were not very kind.
With kids that were jerkies.
They were not very kind, right?
Jerkies.
But they were very mean to you, right? They were not kind.
Not kind.
And
in 2nd grade, I had like 2 friends. 3rd grade, I had like 4. The 4th grade, I had like 5 or 6. And now I have like 20 or 30.
Well, yes, things have improved because because your mother was a lunatic.
No, is. Mom, do not say was. You are still guilty. You are still guilty.
Okay.
You're still
guilty as charged. But I was a lunatic for the right reasons.
Oh, Mom, yes, you were. And
yes,
you were.
So, Mommy didn't drop the ball. And I made sure.
No, you bowled it into people's face.
And you know what? I should have. It's amazing that I wasn't on Channel 12 News with what was going on.
Oh, yes. Consider this a blessing. That
being said, I try to give people the benefit of the doubt. I try to handle things respectfully. But I did tell you when all these things were happening, you know, when your father was here, that... You know, he used to say to you, I don't know, you were like 3 years old, and some kid was doing something, and what did he tell you to do?
Punch him in the face?
Punch him in the face. So I go...
One, mono, punch him in the face. Okay, bang.
So I go,
uppercut.
I go, Joey, you can't tell a 4-year-old to punch the kid in the face because we have to teach them not to do that, right?
Or not to punch people in the damn face.
Right. So it was a little difficult to
persuade him
to understand. No, but now
I could punch someone
in retrospect. No, but wait a second. We understood as time went by the reason why he said what he said, right? And then who started telling you to do that? Me. I started telling you to do that, and I said to you, you use your words.
And if they don't listen, punch them in the face.
And if they don't listen, but they were putting hands on you as well.
Uppercut.
So that was the reason why I told you that.
No, they weren't.
That's not true.
No, not like it happened on rare occasions.
They were being physical with you, and that was when I said to you, if anybody touches you.
That was like last year for like one day.
I understand. It wasn't last year for one day. It was a couple of times. You got a broken wrist. You got knocked out in freaking gym class. There was a couple of things.
That was kind of my fault.
No, it wasn't. What are you telling stories for?
Oh yeah, never mind.
That was not your fault.
I'm thinking of a different.
You're thinking of this year where there was a small incident, but I'm talking about when you were in the sling and you got knocked down by the same kid that
who coincidentally broke it.
Right. So I know what I'm talking about.
Oh yeah, funny thing, my wrist is hurting right now.
All right, drama king. So anyway,
don't meow.
Anyway, so I did tell you after a while to do that, to punch him in the face. And when I went into
sounds like my kid. There is there's a commenter that says sounds like my kid.
Right, because there are parents out there that understand this, because unfortunately, parents don't always discipline their children. They don't raise their children to be respectful of one another. So now, if the school doesn't do what they need to do, and I went into the school and I told them I had I think the principal. I bought them bottles of liquor because I know that they went home drinking after me. But you know what? Something had to be done.
You did.
Yeah, I did. But something had to be done, and you know what? After all this said and done, something was done because it was finally
settled.
Well, because
settled.
It was finally realized that you were not the problem. That the problem was someone else that was the problem. Actually, there were two people that were the problem. And this year, one of the people is no longer there. So the other child isn't as strong in his thing. Plus the fact that you also realize that it's not you, right?
Yeah.
So you realize that person, and we feel sorry for them, right? We feel bad for them, and we pray for them, right? And we know that they must be having problems at home. They must be going through something at home, and this is the reason why they act out, right? Yeah. And I do tell you that it probably has nothing to do with you, right?
Yeah.
And it's just them. But yes, we had to deal with that. So you did have a hard time, and you're very sensitive.
Yeah.
So you do have a hard time making friends sometimes because kids are not nice.
Yeah, they're meanie pantsers.
You're a nice kid. Sometimes you're fresh, but you're also... What are you doing?
I don't know.
Well, stop it. We are on a show. Act accordingly. Stop. Stop fidgeting. Stop moving around. See, this is why you shouldn't come on the show at this time, because you're a sleepyhead now.
I'm just like the puppy when it's the morning.
Yes, you're being a sleepyhead. So anyway, yes, it is difficult for for kids to make friends because some children are not very kind. When you teach your children to be kind, it's a very difficult dynamic to have a kind child and yet somebody that knows how to stand up for themselves. But I think at this point, you have figured that part out, right? I think you've kind of come into your own on that. Okay. So, I'm not going to talk about my perspective. I'm going to talk about my perspective on a parent because you had asked that question. I'm going to do that after I send you to bed because you're starting to get scutchy now. So let's just get to some more things before...
Juicy.
Before you want to get to juicy. Okay. Well, obviously, not obviously, but, some people that do follow the show, they know that you lost your father.
Yeah.
So how do you deal with that on a daily basis? How does that make you feel? How do you deal with that? Where do you put that?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know where I put it. I don't know. I just put it in the back of my head, I guess.
Right.
Then I move on through the day, and then...
Some days are easier than others, right?
Quite.
And some days are harder than others, right? Well, do you look at other people's lives? Like, do you sit there, like, if we're at places, do you look at other people? Like, I always wonder that. Like,
Same.
are you?
I do.
You do?
I just look at someone and, like, wonder, what's going on?
But now, how do you feel when you're looking at them? Do you feel like do you watch them? Like,
sometimes I feel disgusted.
Okay.
Sometimes I feel sad for them.
Okay.
Sometimes I feel good for them.
Okay.
And sometimes I don't know what I feel. Because they're just going bonkers, then they're going sad, then they're going happy, then they're going,
So, are you good with your world?
Almost.
Almost? Okay, what is there that you would want to, what can improve?
Less homework and less schoolwork.
All right, so that's really your only complaint.
Yeah.
All right, so then I'm doing pretty damn good if that's your only complaint.
Are.
Well, and it's funny that I mean, and thank you for saying that, because I have always said to you, people through, in this past 5 years since we lost your dad, a lot of people have commented about me and my parenting and whatever the case. And I always say to people, what do I always say? I ask you, right? What do I say to you?
How am I doing?
I say, how am I doing? And what do you say?
Good. Great.
So I always say to you, there is only one person in this world that calls me mom. And that's you. So as long as you think I'm doing a good job, then I'm good.
Same.
Right? Aw. I love you.
Love you too.
So that, and so now that, and I'm going to say, all right, so like, for instance, like your Nana, I don't know if Nana's watching still or Papa, sometimes like they see you wearing, certain outfits. Like, I don't know about your parents, but like the no matching socks is a big thing right now.
Oh boy, the no matching outfit is something a smidge tight. They're like, oh my gosh, it's so tight. Send it back, go, 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 go. It's like a military drill. It's too tight. Go, 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 go.
Right. So now, what is my biggest pet peeve when it comes to getting dressed? Though?
That you have to match.
That you have to match.
Like, it doesn't matter if it's like a smidge tight. Like, it's like a smidge
You have to match. Well, I tell you, if something's sticking out or whatever, not to. So you came down one day, you had like an orange sock and like a black sock, and they were like up to your knee, and you were wearing shorts. And I said to you, what are you doing? And you said, I like it. I said, Noah, when you go to school, your friends are the people in your class are gonna make fun of you, and I don't want them to, already not nice to you. I don't want them, and
I said, I don't care.
Right, and you shrugged your shoulders, and you said, I don't care. I like it. So what was my response?
Oh, okay.
So I said, okay, as long as
no one made fun of me. End of story.
And that is called owning it, because when you
yes it is.
When you own it.
And did anyone notice her new glasses?
You're so cute.
Put new if you notice her new glasses.
Oh, look at him. You're such a YouTuber. Oh my god.
Yes, I am. I'm also a live streamer.
Yes, excuse me, which I still have to learn how to do.
You've live streamed before.
Okay, so what was I just saying now?
Let's party?
No, I wasn't saying let's party. You're my kid, I gotta say. No, what I was saying was, I'm better with, you're throwing me off here. No, what were we talking about? We were talking about,
unmatching outfits.
Right, your clothes. And so like my in-laws will see him and think he's like a homeless child, right? And I say, you know what? It's all good. If that's what he wants to wear,
and like sometimes they literally force me.
As long as his clothes, they got to be clean. And with me, they got to match. Like, he can't wear an orange shirt and red bottoms. Like, I just can't have
Like,
that.
she will send me to my room
and I'm like,
for X amount of time. Like, no.
Go find a different shirt.
Find a different shirt.
No,
find
that
a
I
different pair of
can't.
pants.
Yeah, that I can't have.
Find a different pair of
But if he wants to be, listen, I walk out in outfits that most people in the world would never walk out in, and I can carry it, and that's who and what I am, and I am not going to tell my son not to be who and what he is. So as long as he understands, I know when I walk out and I am dressed a certain way, or might be funky, or wear my crazy shoes or whatever, people are going to talk and they're going to say whatever they're going to say. Oh, she's 49 years old. What does she think? They've been saying it about me all my life. So it's fine. I'm okay with it. I own it. I'm good with it. As long as he owns it and he's good with it, I believe that everyone's individuality should be supported. So, look out, world. There's another one coming. All right. So, what do you think that parents should know?
Watch out for your kid's behavior early on because you don't know what they'll be like. Watch out if your kid has allergies or, like, as I have, maybe asthma or something. Watch out for if they have allergies. I think I already said that.
Yes, you did.
Maybe if they're sick, maybe try and keep them away from other kids. Ask them how they're feeling occasionally, or as this one does, like, almost every day. What else? Drink some water. Make sure that they drink some water and eat properly. I think I might eat just a smidge bit too much.
No, Slim, you're good.
Oh, yeah, thanks for the self-confidence. Yeah, totally. 20 out of 10, Mom.
Yeah, listen, Noah, you weigh as
I'm
much
saying
as
negative 20 out of 10.
Daddy, you are my height and my weight, and you are only 10. So
it's called she's short, I'm tall.
There you go.
And where do I get this from? Both my parents are short.
I don't know. I'm not
Both
sure.
My parents are shrimps.
I know
You're plankton and my dad's a shrimp.
I know you came out of me. I have the scars to prove it. I know that it wasn't the mailman. I know who your father is. So it is very ironic that you are this Tonka truck. But you're strong like a bull, like my Russian grandma used to say. Strong like a bull. All right, so you think parents should know that they should. So I think everything that you just said was basically know your child.
Yeah, know your child.
Know your child. So now, how do you feel about discipline?
Oh,
is it necessary?
Oh, please, yes. Like I watch a YouTube channel. I don't know why I watch. Called Super Nanny. And parents, if you have trouble disciplining your kids or like putting them to sleep or something, go watch her right now because she will give you all the tips in the flopping universe.
Because parents have lost control over
because
their
parents
children.
don't know what to do because they don't know what to do and they have like 72 to 67 bajillion 20 kids.
It's not easy. And you know what? Sometimes you're just tired.
And they usually have full-time jobs,
right.
The house, they're like,
It's not easy.
My fault that I have a full-time job.
Well, they're working so they can support their children. And, so it's not an easy thing to do. But yes, what happens is that the kids fall on the wayside because of that, right? And then they turn into brats.
Oh, spoiled. Spoiled is spoiled.
Yes. So you're going to agree with me that discipline is necessary. Right. And now me, I'm like the Gestapo. I'm strict, aren't I? Right.
This is how strict she is. I might just leave the stage.
Exit stage left.
Hold on, I don't even.
Exit stage left. You're not leaving yet. You're leaving in 2 minutes. Get your butt over
No,
here.
I'm not leaving in like 8.
Yes. Well, you know what? I know I am strict, but guess what? The best way to.
I'm back after 15 seconds.
Listen, if you want to bake a cake, you have to follow the ingredients.
And instrucciones.
The instructions and the ingredients specifically, because if you don't add enough of this or you add too much of that,
like
the cake
slime.
Is going to be too flat or it's not going to ding
like
or it's
slime.
not going to that. So it's the same thing when you're raising a child. There are boundaries and you have to create those boundaries. And that's just how life is. And if you don't you feel better knowing what's expected of you than to just you just do stuff and then wonder, oh crap, am I going to get in trouble? At least now you know, oh crap, if I do that, I'm getting in trouble.
Yeah.
As opposed to all right, let me do it, and then all of a sudden you get in trouble and you're like, wow, why did I get in trouble? What'd I do? Right? So it's better off, right?
Yeah.
All right, so we got to do a station identification.
All right. You are listening to Real Talk with Karen Stacy live on MiamiMikeRadio.com. Also Facebook Live, which right now it looks like 15 people are 15 people
they're
are watching.
Yep. Mm-hmm. They're watching. They're tuned in. They're loving you. I don't know why.
I wonder why.
You're such a ham. So now, let's talk about the fact that you are being You're being raised by a single mom. What is that like for you?
It's weird not having the second piece of the third or second or what is it? Third
second. Well, third to make three of us. Okay, go ahead.
You know what I mean.
Spit it out.
And then to make the puzzle, it's weird without having that extra person.
Well, because you're supposed
because whenever I eat a random delicious, it brings back so much nostalgia. Because
it brings back memories of your father. Because when your father used to pick you up from school,
he used to buy me a red delicious, and then I used to freaking gobble that thing down like a beast. I was Tarzan going gong 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 gong.
Yeah. So I obviously I am a single parent, and we have your nana and your papa, thank God, that help.
Yeah.
And that's how mommy can go out and work. And do, which is why I host events and I do things at night, because I have to be there for you, right? I bring you to school, I pick you up, I cook for you every day.
Yeah.
I drink wine so you can do your homework.
Not anymore.
No, not anymore. Thank you.
Almost.
Thank you for pointing that out. So how do you feel about me doing my show?
Happy.
Happy?
Because I'm happy that you get to say your name, let your name be made, and do you enjoy this?
You know I do.
So if you enjoy it and it's something that you like, and you like doing it, why didn't you do this every day?
Well, don't push it.
You sure about that? Are you sure about that?
Well,
you can have an hour show every day.
Listen, it's not easy coming up with this stuff for an hour.
No, it is not.
It's not easy, and it's 2 hours, but
2 hours, 1 hour, whatever.
And the other thing too is that mommy likes to help people, right?
It's actually about to hit the hour mark.
You know that mommy.
You
know that mommy likes to help people, right? So you know that when I do the show and people tell me that it helped them when they listen to things. Like right now, you have parents that just listened, and maybe now they can relate.
See this comment right here.
They can relate
this one right there.
Okay, maybe they can relate now to their children, so they know now that I saw a couple of people posting that's my son, that's my son.
I know.
So now people understand that it's not just them, right? This is what's being put on you children at this point, right? So, I know that sometimes you're very encouraging. When you saw how many people were in my group, you were proud of me.
Over 1,000.
When I do.
Everyone give a round of applause in the chat. I'm so sorry for this noise level.
And when I
By the way, rest in peace headphone users.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
And when I do certain things, I see you're like, wow, Mom, maybe one day you're going to be famous.
And I hope that you are one day a Hollywood star.
A Hollywood star.
I can imagine one day my mom being a Hollywood star.
With you by my side, how could I fail?
Thank you.
So now I'm going to go one more thing, and let's see. What do kids want from their parents?
What do kids want from their parents? Love, attention, not negative attention.
How about
love?
Affection.
Love and affection, same thing.
No, different. You can love somebody and not be affectionate. How many people, we hug and kiss and hold hands. A lot of people. How many people do you see that hug and kiss and hold hands?
Not a lot.
Not a lot, right? So we're affectionate.
If there's a movie and that every kid in the class besides me will go, ew! It's ridiculous. What, you never seen people kiss? What's new?
Well, you were raised around a lot of love.
Oh, yes, heck yes, I was.
You always saw me and your father hugging, kissing, laying on top of each other, and, You know, and we are like
snuggling
that, right?
Snuggling in the bed.
Right? We snuggle and we hold
waking you up 5 times in the night.
We hug and we kiss. I mean, although now that you're 10, you don't hug me and kiss me as much as you used to, but you still do. I mean, you know, and we have that type of relationship. So okay. So for parents to know, because this is
we hit 200 comments.
Okay, very good. Don't worry, we'll go through it. So now,
oh boy, how do you do that?
Don't worry, I'll take care of it. So now, I want you to know I want parents to know what do kids want from them. So you say love, affection,
shelter, food and water, maybe moderate snacks here and there.
Food.
I should have been more moderate with my snacks.
Okay, that's okay. You can always make a change, and you're going to start exercising more.
Make good habits. Make sure that they ask their parents. They want guidance.
Guidance.
They want to be taught.
Okay, taught.
I feel like that falls under guidance.
Guidance, teaching. Yes, that does. Very good. Boy, you got a lot of adjectives.
Then to stand up for them. To stand up.
Parents should advocate for their children. Absolutely. Right. Which is, and so that's why I didn't go on Channel 12 News, so just keep in mind, I did it well.
No, you went on Channel 11 News.
No. I did not. I behaved.
We've been on for 1 hour, Mom.
Okay, I know. Time for you to go to bed. Shut up, go to bed. That's what I say to him at night. We get in bed, we snuggle, and he starts, I don't know about you parents, but the minute you tell them it's time to go to bed, all of a sudden they have to tell you everything that went on that day. I'm like, dude, you didn't say nothing to me for the past, 50 minutes. And now that I'm telling you it's bedtime, you want to tell me about your day? No, now it's time to go to sleep. So I say, I love you. What do I always say?
I love you. Shut up. Go to sleep.
I love you. Shut up. Go to sleep.
Then she starts the meditation. Fall asleep 6 hours later.
Wait, I used to sing that to you. Remember?
Yeah, I love you. Shut up. Go to sleep. I love you. Shut up. Go to sleep.
That was my song. Some people sing lullabies. I sing I love you. Shut up. Go to sleep.
Go to sleep.
But see how nice it sounds when you sing it?
You. Shut up, go to sleep. I love you. Shut up, go to sleep.
It's like
that's her song that she made.
It's like the prayer. I love you.
It's a God bless America.
The prayer. I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. Except I say I love you. Shut up. Go to sleep. I mean, it's the same but different.
Shut up, go to sleep.
All right. So now you need to shut up and go to sleep.
Well, I'm not going to go to sleep this second right
You're going to go to Nana and Papa. You're going to get the puppy, and you're going to go to sleep. Okay?
Why do you have to say this on live show?
Because I'm your mother, and that's what I do. So what do you want? Do you want to say anything to everybody out there that's been watching?
Thank you for watching while I was on. I hope that you guys have a great night and the rest of the week. And I'm going to promote my YouTube channel one more time before I leave.
That's my boy.
Go on YouTube, type in Nerf No Joseph. I want to try getting to 100 subscribers by the end of this year, December 31st.
Actually, you know what? I think that
we can make 1,000.
I think that we can ask all of our listeners right now and viewers,
and even after,
to go on and do that, and go on to Nerf Noah Joseph and hit like. Have your kids hit the like button.
And then hit the subscribe button. There'll be a little bell. Make sure you get notified of all my uploads. And I'll see you later.
Yes, and nothing is not child-based. All right, I love you. Thank you for... Just leave the door open so I can see you, okay? All right. You're the best.
I can barely feel my legs.
Oh, I know. It's so difficult. Go ahead, you can leave the... I know. Leave the door open so the light will go. You guys are listening to Real Talk with Karen Stacy live on MiamiMikeRadio.com. And it is definitely past my son's bedtime, but I let him stay on because he really did want to do the show tonight, and he had a lot to say. I mean, he always has a lot to say, right? But I feel like, he had a lot to say, and I wanted him to be able to voice himself. And I'm going to go on now, and I'm going to look at, I know there's a lot of comments on here. I can see some of them, and I just want to say thank you. I know I am truly blessed to have this little angel that God has given me. And this is what happens when you make someone, he is a product of love, and he is just an amazing kid, and I'm looking at some of the messages now. I know you guys tagged. So, I just do find it very interesting that, it's school. He's so stressed over school. Are your children stressed from school? What's up with that? Were we like that when we were younger? I realize that, as children, that's really the only thing we have to do, right? But I just, were we that stressed when we were younger? I don't really recall. And it's a little, concerning to me that these kids are inundated like this, with this. All right, let's see. I'm just looking because, we also, I'm trying to see, nobody has commented. I'm on the other comments. I don't know if anybody's commenting on what I'm seeing right now. If we are, okay, let's see. Yeah, stressed school kids. Yeah, it's just, I'm really, it's crazy to me that they're so stressed. And that was him. I said, he wanted to come on the show. I said, well, what do you want to talk about? You got to bring something to the table. What do you want to talk about? It's an adult show. And, I don't know what people are going to want to listen to. And like I said in the beginning of the show, I'm sure, there were a lot of people that looked at it and were like, oh God, she's going to have a 10-year-old kid on there. That's not real talk. But guess what? This was the realest talk you'll ever hear, right? Because this is a kid, and there is and my son is me, so he's got no filter. So you don't get realer than this. This is real talk. You heard it out of the mouths of babes, right? So my kid told you, what it's like, and he didn't go too deep on stuff. The hour goes quickly, and had this not been at 8 o'clock at night, I probably would have kept him for the 2 hours because he could talk for 2 hours, and not many 10-year-olds can do that. It's amazing how stressful, and I would think that they would be, he has so many more other things to be stressed over, from his world and how his life has panned out. For him to be so stressed over school, it's crazy. And even now, they're all over the place though. Their heads, they get, my husband used to say when he would watch SpongeBob, you're stuck on stupid. They get in a trance. They start watching these shows, and then these YouTubers, holy crap. They are even just the way they speak, it's that sing-song speak. And you even heard him make sure you hit that button, you see that bell, you subscribe. It's a new language that these children are speaking now, and it's unbelievable to me. And I had to stop him. Last year, I stopped him from watching. I said, you know what? You watch idiots, you emulate idiots. You got to stop with the idiots. I just can't listen to them. My ears bleed. And I'm pretty good about tuning stuff out. I think most of us parents can tune out a lot. But these idiots on YouTube, they all sound the same. One of them was British, and he used to watch with the games that they played and all that stuff, which I couldn't even deal with it. I was like, you got to be kidding me. So, I told him that he needed to stop watching that because I didn't want him emulating idiots. And it does have a huge effect. These video games and stuff have a huge effect. I don't know about you guys, but my kid is on FaceTime with his friends on the iPad, and then on the computer playing the game. Or he's on the computer doing FaceTime, and he's on the TV playing the game. It's crazy. It's amazing that a single child can have companionship like that, right? Because when, I was a single child, for the beginning part of my life, and you got nobody to play with, you're bored out of your mind. So it is really nice to have that. But at the same token, you know, now, like, I mean, his best friend is like my kid. I mean, everything I do, I come downstairs in the morning, he's on the phone with him. I go to bed, he's on the phone with him. And I'm always like, oh, he's on the, you know, like, I'm yelling at him, and I'm like, oh, is Nick on the phone? You know, and he's like, oh, yeah, Nikki's on the phone. I'm like, oh, all right, well, sorry, Nick, you know, hi, Nick. And they're just a part of your life. They're in your living room, you know, and which is a little bit scary. I mean, not for the kids, but, you know, as parents, we really have to be mindful of what our children are doing on the internet, you know. There's way too much available to them at this point. So we really have to be mindful of that and realize that everything is available to them. To me, that's a huge, you know, I don't allow him, there is no computer upstairs in his bedroom. Not that he really hangs out in his bedroom, but any type of computer stuff is normally done in the living room where I am. And I mean, he's 10 now, so he understands what appropriate is and what not appropriate is. So, you know, it's a little bit easier now, and he knows the minute he hears any cursing or, you know, there's anything with anything, he realizes I need to take this off. So it's very important if you don't have parental locks or whatever you call it, which I don't because I have no clue how to do any of that stuff. You know, I feel that as parents, we need to teach our children to learn how to monitor themselves in that respect. Like, okay, you just heard that curse word, you know that that's not appropriate because they should not be speaking to children cursing. If this is geared to your age group, they shouldn't be cursing. So the minute you hear that, you need to take that off. And if I ever hear that and you haven't taken it off, then we're going to have a problem. I have to close this door because it's freezing right now. So bear with me 1 second. I am still here, but it's like winter in New York now, because it's freaking May, right? Well, it's going to be May tomorrow, and it's cold. So are you guys still with me? Did I lose you? Did you guys all leave me after Noah left? I'm here. Are you here? I want to hear from you guys. All right, let me look at some of your comments here. So I'm going to go back in. The 70s were horrible, and it got worse when I got to Christian school. Far worse. Yeah, I know. Catholic school, so Noah's father went to Catholic school, and you know, his feeling was he felt that the Catholic Church was like the biggest farce going. And again, it was his opinion. I'm not bashing the Catholic Church or anyone's religious beliefs, but he just felt that, you know, he grew up in the time when the nuns beat the crap out of you, you know, and all of that stuff. So he really never wanted his child to ever go to a Catholic school because he didn't believe in that. Need to be careful because there are grown men pretending to be kids on these games. Yeah, so that's, you know, that was one of the comments I just read. And yes, this is what I mean is that, you know, as parents, you know, I mean, you heard it out of the mouth of babes, right? Like my son said, you know, that you should protect. And, you know, that is our job, is to protect our children. And we have to advocate for our children. And yes, this year, I am grateful that it's been smooth sailing. I have to say that from the time he went into the new school, the school he's in now, he went into in second grade. And that was only 1 year after we had lost his father. And I was still like in outer space. And, you know, the first like 2 years he was there, you know, there were issues. There were nasty kids. And, you know, the principal must have cringed every time the phone rang and they said, you know, Noah's mom was on the phone, because it was just, and then we went from one principal to another principal. I had to get everybody involved because the parents weren't doing anything about it. And then I realized that, you know what, the parents weren't doing anything about it. And, you know, so now what do? You have to teach your child what to do in that situation, right? Because look, when we grow up, look at us, like we're out, you're out, you're doing something, and you see that somebody is just being, a jerk, right? And right away, there's going to be a problem with this person. So you realize that you have two choices, right? You either walk away or you're going to go head to head with this person, right? So I tried to teach my child to stand up for himself. And I literally did every scenario possible. I did ignoring, which was driving him crazy, but I said, just don't feed into it. Just ignore him, allow it to happen. And any of you, look, we still go through it now, right? You guys let me know how easy it is to ignore certain things. When things go on, to ignore them and to sit back is a lot harder, but you have to try, right? I tried to teach him what to do in this situation. And unfortunately, my biggest complaint was that it took me a couple of years to actually figure out what was going on. And the problem was that the teachers did not have control over the classroom. My son is a control freak. I know you may find that very difficult to accept, but he is a control freak. And he's also been raised to know right from wrong. And I don't play that shit. I hold him accountable, and I do not allow that. And when I say something, you better do it. So what happened was that he was in this classroom, and it took me a while, and I put two and two together because you got to know your kid, right? And he would explain to me the situation. So I'll give you an example. The teacher, they wrote something on the board, and it was for a little girl that one of the teacher's daughters was like visiting the classroom, and my son loves the younger kids and he protects them, right? So they wrote something on there like happy birthday to this little girl. So the kid that he has an issue with went and started to go erase what was written. Now the teacher told them, do not erase the board. So Noah heard that. And the kid went to erase it. So Noah said, stop erasing the board. Like, they just told you not to erase that. Don't erase it and leave it alone. So he felt it was his job to protect this little girl because this little girl couldn't speak. So when the kid wouldn't do it, he took the eraser and knocked it out of his hand. And he said, don't erase it. So then the teachers got, upset or whatever, and then apparently he got into trouble because they told him he should mind his business. Now, I agree that he should mind his business, but my issue and what I discussed with the principal and with the teachers is you do not have control over the classroom. My son is protecting you because the kids are not listening to you. So he is protecting you, and he's protecting this little girl who can't speak. So where is the adult in that situation? That was what was alarming to me, because he felt he's telling the teachers, this is what's going on. You just told this kid not to do this, and now you're allowing him to do it. So now somebody's got to step up and tell this kid not to do it. So he was defending the teachers and the kid that couldn't defend herself. So once I realized what was actually happening, because I know my son is a Budinsky, I know he minds everybody else's business, I get all that. And I tell him, mind your business, this, that, and the other. But then it all made sense to me, and I understood where it was coming from. And I said, you guys don't have control. That's the problem. And until you gain control, my son is going to take that role because he feels he needs to protect you. So that's why I say you have to know your kid. So once you figure out your kid, then it's a little bit easier to guide them. But I couldn't really get a full picture. I mean, we're not there, right? When I see him, when we're at like in the summertime, he's like the mayor. Every kid loves him. So I'm like, why does he have these problems in school? What's actually going on there that's different? I mean, if everywhere he went, the kids did not like him and they bullied him or whatever, I would say, okay, it's my kid. Like, what is my kid do? And I did say that even in school. What is he doing? What is my kid doing that's making this happen? Or not making it, but if he's the common denominator and it's only happening here, why is that happening? So I went into that and I started to think about that. And that was the reason why, once I figured that out and I got to the bottom of it, I was able to help him better. So my point is that, adults should advocate for children. Children should never be in a situation where they feel they have to be the strong one. So, but at the same token, sometimes adults don't handle situations properly. And therefore, you have to teach your children how to handle these situations when no one else is going to help them. And it's a very sad situation, and it really does, it breaks my heart, it saddens me, but at the same token, it's all a life lesson, right? And when bad things happen, you have to use them as a learning tool so that your children can better prepare for the future. And this is just my own personal, I'm not a therapist, I just play one on the radio. This is just my own personal belief, of course, but I do think that there's validity to it if you look and see, and it's validation on both ends, and it's also being held accountable. And it's very difficult when a 9-year-old, 8-year-old, 7-year-old, 6-year-old, 10-year-old knows better than the adult in the room, and they recognize. My son didn't feel safe. He didn't feel that they were protecting him. I give you my kid for 8 hours a day. That is my world. There is nothing else more important in my world than my child. And I am entrusting him in your hands for 8 hours. I expect him to come back in the same condition that I brought him there in. Hopefully smarter, because he's getting an education. But my point is that you should be caring for him in a manner in which I would be caring for him, because he should feel safe and he should feel protected. And anytime any adult has a child in their not possession, but in their presence, that child should always be safe and feel safe, be safe, and be taken care of. And that's just my personal opinion. If I have somebody's kid, that kid is like my own kid. I will make sure that kid is safe. I will make sure that child knows that I know that I'm watching and everything else. So, it's very important. And that, in school and anything, and I told the school the same thing. And you know what? I am very grateful. I don't want to throw them under the bus. They really did turn things around. They made my son is happy. As you heard now, he has friends. The whole dynamic changed, and I'm grateful for that. So, and I did not stop. I advocated. I went on them. I went on him. I went back and forth with that. And you know what? The truth of the matter is that you can't ever give up, because they need us to speak for them. They need us to advocate for them. Very important to do. So you can't just leave it in someone else's hands. Your kid, your responsibility. That's just my opinion. Okay, so now let me see where we're at here. So you guys are listening to Real Talk with Karen Stacy live on MiamiMikeRadio.com. My guest this evening was my precious boy Noah, who was on with us for an hour. And he had to go to bed. And I am just reading through some of the comments. Roger, my son goes, there's intense workload, but the kids get a really good education. Blue Ribbon School. Yeah, he should stand up for himself and kick some ass. Your child should not have to be bullied. I have become a part of a group with situations had years ago, or I would have been arrested. Yeah. You know what? It is what it is, and this is the world that we live in. Listen, we have adults bullying adults at this point, because now they bully on social media. I mean, this is the new thing now. I really don't get it, but this is the new thing now. And then it's like people try to gang up. It's like, there's strength in numbers. So everybody tries to gang up on each other and create this other, another step to something. Bullying, I don't like bullying no matter where it is. I don't like it whether it's done for me or against me or for someone, against someone. You know what? Everybody should be an individual. Yes, there is a lot of strength in numbers. And I don't feel you have to bully somebody. I think if you're right, you're right. And if you're wrong, you're wrong. And people will stand behind you when you're right. And if you have the right people, they'll stand behind you when you're wrong too. But they'll tell you when you're wrong. But you have to also be big enough to understand and take ownership for the fact that you were wrong. And then take accountability. Most people in life take the victim role. And people do not take accountability for their actions. So if you act, listen, nobody's perfect. I'm sure people see me out sometimes and I'm in my own world sometimes. And I may say hello. I might have been in the middle of a conversation with somebody else. I know there was somebody I haven't seen and it was in my head. And not that they said anything to me, but I'm cognitive of this. There is somebody that I saw out on Saturday night that I haven't seen in many, many years. And I was actually having a conversation with someone at the point when they were walking by me. And we were actually talking about the fact that she's a widow as well and trying to move on with her life. So it was obviously it was a very intense conversation. And the small amount of time that me and my husband were broken up, I was actually with her brother, so who also passed away. So, it was a very deep conversation. And this person I haven't seen, like I said, in years, was walking by. Now, granted, I shouldn't be having a deep conversation like this with music blasting, in the middle of a club. But, when you see people, and conversations happen, right? So my point is that I feel bad, and I will probably reach out to that person and say to her, I'm sorry that I didn't give you more of my time, but you can't stop one conversation in the middle like that. I mean, I stopped it enough to give her a kiss and be respectful, but you don't know. So if she came to me, my point to this is that take accountability for your actions. If she sent me a message on Facebook and said, wow, I haven't seen you in so many years. Like, you barely even said hello to me. Like, that kind of made me feel like shit. My first response wouldn't have been, I didn't treat you like shit. I said hello to you, because that's being defensive, right? My response would be, I'm so sorry. I was in the middle of a conversation. It was really a deep conversation. And, I couldn't stop and talk to you at that point, And so I said hello and I was cordial, but she has every right to feel a little slighted that I didn't really pay much attention to her because of the fact that I saw her out, So it's a tricky situation, but my point is that, we're not always right. And when somebody's feelings are involved, you need to validate their feelings. And instead of the first words out of your mouth being defensive, maybe you should listen to what somebody is saying and validate how they feel and take accountability for whatever, role that you have in that is what I'm trying to say. And I raise my child the same way. We need to be held accountable for our actions. So, we're not always right. And so, again, bullying comes from all sorts of things. So you may say something, this girl could turn around and say, oh, yeah, I saw Karen. I don't know who she thinks she is. She got a talk show now. She don't want to talk to nobody. And then she could tell 16 people that when it was completely innocent. I was in the middle of a conversation and I got interrupted, not interrupted, but I stopped to say hello. And again, I didn't give her enough of my time and I will make up for that. But there's a reason for it. She could turn around and start a war over it, right? Oh, Karen is a stuck-up bitch. She thinks who the fuck she is, blah, blah, blah. You know what I'm saying? So it's all about what people do with that. So to always take it from where it comes from. But if someone says something to you, you should listen. You always need to know if there's truth in anything someone is saying. Whether you agree with it or disagree with it, you should take accountability for your actions. And you should at least consider what these people are saying and know, wow, okay, maybe I did do that. I'm sorry if I did that, and look, none of us are perfect. I know there are a lot of times I'm like, oh my God, I see people, I'm out, I was out all night. Meanwhile, I see pictures. I go, oh crap, I didn't know so-and-so was there. Oh crap, I didn't know so-and-so was there. So, sometimes it just goes through, past you. You don't even realize it, so everybody isn't always very conscious. So remember that, and don't always take things so personally. And I take everything personally, so I'm not one to talk. But, sometimes people are in their own worlds. Anyway, I just went off on a tangent. All right. Where am I here? You're damn right. That's exactly what I told the school when it happened to my kids. Bring the parents to me. I will teach them. Great show. I'm glad you understand kids. This is Matthew. Oh, Matthew, thank you so much. Thank you for watching the show. I feel bad now that I made Noah go to sleep. Maybe you guys can meet. Yes, it is very tough to converse with people when it's loud like that. Okay, there needs to be zero tolerance for bullying in schools. Punishment should be harsh, and the bullying parents need to be held accountable. I definitely believe that, but you know what? A lot of times, that's the problem. So going back to that, I'll give you, for instance, one of the kids, there was one child that was, this was when things actually changed for my son. And you got to brace yourself on this one, because it's just, what I'm going to say to you is disturbing. So brace yourself. One of the kids said to my son, your father isn't here anymore because he left, because he didn't like you. And he didn't want to be here anymore because he couldn't stand you. And that's why he's dead. Because he didn't want to be around you. This is what this child told my kid. So, apparently, the teachers heard it. Somebody had heard it. And finally, they felt that this was a reason to call in the parents. So I didn't know what took place. The principal emailed me and said, we have to talk, we'll talk later. So now I'm like, what the hell happened? Like, is my kid okay? What do you mean we'll talk later? What's going on? So I didn't know what happened, and I got a glimpse of it from the teacher, I think was what took place. And when I heard what happened, I couldn't even speak. I mean, I had my throat like balled up, because I just could not imagine what my poor child felt when he heard that come out of another child's mouth. And how disgusting of a human being could you possibly be at 9 or 10 years old to say something so deplorable to someone, that your father is dead because he didn't want to be around you anymore. Now, after all the crap that my son tolerated in that school with these disgusting children, I didn't know what condition he was going to be in. And when I went to get, like I said, I heard some of it. I went to get him. I didn't know what to make of it. And I have to tell you, of all of the stuff that was done to him, this he was the most okay with, for lack of a better word. What I mean by that is he really wasn't affected by it. And I looked at him when he got in the car, and normally when he gets in the car and he had one of those days with these nasty kids, he comes in and and my kids don't cry. Anybody that knows my son knows my kids don't cry. And we'd be in the car and he'd start screaming and hysterically crying because he was so frustrated and upset with what these children were doing. This day, he was like, fine. So I said to him, you want to tell me what happened? He goes, I'm sure my teacher told you. I said, yeah, but I'd like you to tell me what happened. So he told me, and pretty much verbatim what was told to me by the teachers. And I said to him, well, how did that make you feel? And he said, well, it made me feel sad. And I said, I'm sure it did. I said, I'm very sorry, that somebody would say something like that to you. I said, but did you believe that? He goes, no. I said, your father would move heaven and earth for you, right? I said, and you know he does, because he comes and says goodnight to him every night. He kisses him and he knows he's there. And I said, your father, nothing meant more in this world to your father than me and you. So I'm glad that you didn't listen to what he said, because it's not true. I said, unfortunately, he's not a kind person and he must have problems in his own home. And this is the reason why he's speaking this way. So then after that, there was like a letter written or whatever, and the kid apologized, right? Because finally the school felt that this was deplorable behavior. So the kid wrote a letter to him or whatever. Okay, so then I said to my son, okay, why don't you try then and make a truce? And I've said this to him in the past with the other kid. Try to make a truce, shake on it, and, you know, start over if you really want to be friends with them, because he wanted to be friends with these kids. I said, let's just try again. So he tells me that he had this truce and that they called this truce and the principal got involved and everything, right? So then later on in the day, the kid did something again and was nasty to Noah. And Noah said, I thought we called a truce. And this piece of crap kid said, we didn't shake on it. I take it back. So my example is, I finally saw the mother and I grabbed her. And I said, you know, can we talk? And of course, the mother accused, you know, it was like the chicken and the egg, you know, like it was my son that caused, you know, this. And you know, apparently her son was complaining about mine and mine was complaining about hers. So in the interim, her daughter comes over, who's probably, I don't know, 6, 7, I can't say for sure. Now, when I went to speak to the mother, it was a book fair. So I said, you know, I grabbed her and I said, can I just talk to you for a minute? And so I turned around and Noah was standing there. I go away, go over there, don't bother me. This is an adult conversation. So my son knows right away to go mind his business and not be involved in an adult conversation. Her daughter comes over and she says, honey, give me a minute. The daughter stands 2 steps away and starts counting and tapping her foot. 1, 2, 3, 4, counting to, you know, the 60-minute mark. So as I watched this, I understood that nothing I was going to say to this mother was going to make a difference, because her 6-year-old child had control over everything, obviously, because she couldn't even have a conversation with me. So if you can't control your 6-year-old, then I got no shot in hell with you controlling your other child. You obviously have no control over your children, and you allow this behavior. So now I, again, going back to, you have to train your children or teach your children so that they know how to deal with that. Because he looked and he saw that the daughter wasn't listening to the mother. So he understood as well, because he knew damn well if he would have done that to me, I would have, whatever I have to do, whatever I have to do to get control over my child, I will do. So that's when it gets difficult. When you say, bring the parents, you're already talking to a wall. So they have no control over their child. So your conversation with them is going to end up nowhere, because there's no control. So the only way for that to change is for the school to be on the same path and to everybody to be on the same, you know, page. So that, and I told the teachers while all of this was going on, I told my son to do whatever he had to do and I would stand behind him. And if you guys aren't going to protect him, then he's going to protect himself. And I told him that. And anything happens, you call me. I will be there in a minute. And guess what? I don't want to hear nothing you have to say until I talk to my son. I want to know from my son what happened and then the rest of it. I told him if he doesn't defend himself, he's going to be in trouble with me. I don't care about you guys. I will handle you guys. He will be in trouble with me if he doesn't defend himself. So if you guys aren't going to protect him, I am going to teach him to protect himself. And unfortunately, this is what has to take place. So I've been through a lot of this crap. And like I said, it was disgusting. Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at all of your things with the angry faces and totally awful. And yeah, I mean, it was disgusting. And like I said, thankfully, that parent did nothing. Gratefully, that child did not come back to school this year, which has helped because the other kid that he had the issue with used to, they used to like feed off of each other. And now that this other kid doesn't have somebody to feed off of, and this was the other thing, right? That other kid, the one that had the incident with my kid that had to do with when he got his wrist broken and all of that, he tells my son one day, "Noah, I wish you were dead." I said, "What?" "Yeah, I wish you were dead." And I said, "Explain to me exactly how, how did he say that?" Like, he says, he told me he wished I was dead, and then he said he wished he was dead. So I said to him, "Noah, that's not normal. It's one thing if you're playing around and, kids, I mean, you should still say that, but like, I'm going to kill you, or whatever. That's one thing. But I wish you were dead." I said, "Noah, that's not a joke. That's somebody wishing bodily harm on you." And then I said, "Explain to me the situation," So he explained the situation to me or whatever, and then the kid said he wished he was dead. So now, me being a parent, that to me is a cry for help from this child, right? Because if the child wishes he was dead, then he's reaching out for help. So I contacted the principal immediately and said that this child needs help. You should not want to be dead at 8 years old or whatever the hell else it was. So there was a lot of issues going on. So again, going back to my initial point is that the parents are not going to fix the mess. They created this mess in the first place. So relying on a parent to fix the mess that they created, they're not looking at the fact that this is their creation, right? They don't realize that they failed as a parent. And this is the reason why their children are behaving the way that they're behaving. So, you have to take that into accountability. My father always says you can't negotiate with a terrorist. So, that's my whole feeling is that I can't put my kid up against these people. I'm not going to sit there. What am I going to do? Look, I know what would have happened. If my husband was alive, he would have knocked on the freaking door. He would have grabbed the father by his throat. He would have said, "If your kid ever puts his hands on my kid again, I'll break your freaking neck." And that would be, I'll choke this shit out of you, whatever it is. We all handle things differently, but we're Bronx people. Italian Bronx people handle things a little differently. And that's how that would have gone down, and that probably would have ended. But sadly, his father was not here, and I was not physically able to do that, and I wasn't going to get on Channel 12 News. Plus, my kid is looking at me. I am a lady. I am, his example, and so I tried to handle it as best as I could. Had it gotten any further, I would have taken other actions. But I understood what I was dealing with, and so my child needed to understand what he was dealing with. So again, lesson learned, life's lesson. So you can't always go, there's always, you think that there's a rational thing, but you can't negotiate with a terrorist. So you can't turn around and, it won't happen. I'm reading a comment here from Karen. Absolutely, Karen. It's sad to say it's been this way for a long time and does not look like it's getting any better. I backed my children. We have to. You have to be an advocate for your child, because if you're raising them to be a certain way and these people are throwing these, curveballs at you, you gotta, what are you going to do? You got to teach them. I don't want my kid to, I don't want him to punch somebody in the face, but at the same token, sometimes you gotta, he's a boy. And sometimes you gotta stand up for yourself. And if you don't put your foot down, I lead with kindness a lot. And even recently, there have been things that have taken place in my world, and I always try to lead with kindness. But I have a backbone. And a lot of people don't know that about me, because a lot of people don't know me that long. But I am the sweetest bitch you'll ever meet. do not push me to a point, because you will see a different side to me, and I don't like that side. I don't want that side to come out. I work very hard to be kind and to be humble and to be a lady and to not go there. But you know what? When your buttons are pushed, you got to do what you got to do. And sometimes you push gently, and sometimes you got to knock somebody down on their ass. So, you know, that's real talk right there. And I don't care who you are. I don't care whether you're 9 or whether you're 50. You know, bad behavior is never okay, and you shouldn't condone it. Some of these parents are ignorant and don't care. Yes, it's definitely a cry for help. Yes, Roger. And you know what? After all the shit that kid did to my kid, I still reached out. I still reached out to help him, because I feel that his parents are failing him. And you know what? If I didn't do that, I couldn't sleep with myself. I couldn't sleep at night. I wanted to help that child, even because, you know what? I feel bad for him. I tell Noah, Daddy, you should pray for him. And you have to understand that there was something wrong in that house, and he is crying out for help. And you have to be grateful that you do not live that way. This poor child is living that way. It doesn't make an excuse, and it doesn't make it okay for him to treat you that way, and you will not allow him to treat you that way. But you have to understand that this child has problems, and we want him to get help, right? We want him to get help. I can guarantee you that these 2 children that I'm talking about right now, I told the principal, I'd love to know where they are 10 years from now. Love to know, because I can tell you where they're going to be 10 years from now. It's probably going to be behind bars or worse, because kids like this, you know, unless a miracle occurs, you know, the parents are checked out, unless the school really jumps in and you know, shows them a different path, or maybe they find a hobby, or they find you know, an art form that will save them. I'm afraid to think where these children are going to be. Where am I here? God bless. Thank you, Rosanna. I appreciate that. I am the same way. Kindness always first, but the backbone is right there. Yeah, and you know, I think that actions speak louder than words. I think that a lot of people use too many words sometimes, and sometimes it's just about action, and you got to take action, and that's what I tried to do with my son, and to help him. And the situation, like I said, I thank you. I am so grateful that he does not stress. I mean, he didn't even want to go to school. He wouldn't go to school. He had stomach aches. He had everything. He didn't want to go to school. And what do I feel like as a parent, that I'm forcing my child to go to a place that's making him miserable? I mean, no good. I mean, I understand he's miserable because he has schoolwork, but you know what? We all hated schoolwork, and I realize it sucks, but there's nothing I can do about that. Although I do kind of boycott the summer thing. I do have to say that. And maybe I'm a bad parent, but they're busting their ass all year. Summertime comes, they truthfully only have July and August, right? Because June, some of the kids go later than others, but they're through the middle of June or late June, depending on what school they go to, right? So they're off July and August. And then they're back in September, like right there. So they have 2 months off. They give them enough work that my son would have to do something every single day. And I would have to argue with him. Sit down and do your work. Sit down and do your work. It's freaking summertime. Let them be. I understand if you want to give them busy work, maybe even just a journal where they write down whatever they did or something like that. Or give him a packet where I can make him do a math packet and give it like a couple of pages. They gave us books and books and books. He was supposed to do 3 book reports on top of 4 workbooks. I mean, even my father, who's, you know, the advocate for, you know, education, he was like, that's ridiculous. I don't agree with that. And I told them point blank, I didn't make him do it. I picked like one thing. There was like little books that were easy, simple things. My son's handwriting stinks. And one of them was like practicing handwriting, little things like that. I said, you know what, Noah, you could do that. It's a no-brainer. It'll take you 5 minutes. Keep your brain going. But I'm not going to yell at him about reading 3 books and writing book reports. I mean, he hates to read. I understand it's good for them to read. I get all of that. I'm not saying that, their brain should turn to mush. But come on. They do so much. They go to school all day long. Their day's packed with all of this stuff. And then they got all this homework that they got to do when they come home, which is another hour, or whatever, depending. And the workload only gets greater. So you know what? In the summertime, I guess I'm a bad mom. And I told this, and I'll tell the teachers, I said, it's too much. I let him do what he was going to do. And I'm not arguing with him. I'm not spending my summer arguing with my child over doing homework. I don't believe in it. And I think that they should get a break. And I told him, when you go back to school, you got to get on point again. You need to make sure you do all your homework. You need to stay on top of everything. I'm giving you this for the summer, but after that, he gets no excuses when it comes to homework. As a matter of fact, he didn't finish math homework today, and we had to come and do the show, and he has like a couple of more questions, and he's going to get up at 5 o'clock tomorrow morning, and he's going to go downstairs, and he's going to do those equations before he has to go to school in the morning, so it's complete. I don't play that. If that's your assignment, that's what you need to do. Period. End of discussion. That's your responsibility. So in the summertime, I think that he's allowed to be a kid and have fun. That's just my opinion. So, I don't know. How do you guys feel about it? Summer packets. Why, oh, why? Okay, so I'm seeing a lot of you on here, some of you on here are in agreement, right? I mean, the summertime thing is crazy, no? I don't know, hit a button, do something, let me know. But anyway, just to recap this evening, you're listening to Real Talk with Karen Stacy live on MiamiMikeRadio.com. I know it's been like a long, almost 2 hours now. My guest today was my son, Mr. Noah Joseph, who was with us for the first hour, where we were talking about the stresses of a child, all of their homework and all of the responsibility on them for doing their work, making new friends. He also told us that I asked him what children want from their parents, and he said, if I can remember exactly, he said guidance, love, affection, attention, discipline, food, shelter. So, out of the mouths of babes, and so just reviewing some of the things that we touched upon this evening. And I appreciate you guys sticking with me and listening. I know, like I said, not everybody wants to watch a 10-year-old, but sometimes, when we first become parents, they tell you, in order to make sure your house is childproof, you need to get down on the floor and look at the world through your children's eyes. And I do have to say that I think one of the greatest gifts of being a parent is seeing life through your children's eyes, because they are innocent, they are pure, so smart, little sponges. And, I can remember like a week ago, my son looking out the window, and it was just a beautiful sunrise. And, I'm such a cranky bitch in the morning that I didn't even look. And he just said, Mom, you got to come here. And I was like, what? And I looked, he was like, look how beautiful the sunrise is. And, just things like that, we can take so much. We can take a lot of pages from their book, because they truly can teach us how to live again, because they see things so much differently. So, get down on the floor with your children and look at life through their eyes. So, having a 10-year-old on here today, he's not teaching adults, he's not schooling anybody out there. He's just a 10-year-old kid who is pretty in touch with his feelings and emotions, and he is able to to show you a different perspective on things and what kids really want. But obviously the people that are watching right now are all with me on it, so you all, knew that. But, it might not be a bad thing if you guys enjoyed the show to share it, sharing is caring. Make one of those live watch shows or whatever. I think that a lot of parents could benefit from watching this, because I think sometimes parents don't know what to do. Maybe they've tried everything and they don't realize that it's not their kid, it's the other kid's parents. Maybe listening to this and the examples that I have shown might help them to look at it differently and deal with it differently. I just think it's always good to see something from someone else's perspective. And I think anybody that watches my show knows that I always try to show a different perspective on things, because that's how we learn, is getting down on the floor with our children and looking at life through their eyes, right? So let me see here. I totally agree with everything you're saying. Summer homework should be read about an hour a day and nothing more. After all, it's summer break, and that kids, but for the teachers too. Yeah, exactly. And I even think, Mel, you're better than me. I think an hour of reading is too much as well. I think that it should just be busy work, and it should be something that they do for, maybe a 15-minute thing, a no-brainer, just something that keeps them at their grade level, and just keeps their brain going. I mean, that's just my opinion. I just think it's too much. So let's see what else is going on. So first of all, thank you to everybody that has come down. Thank you guys who came to the birthday blowout bash at NOMA in New Rochelle, New York. Miami Mike's official birthday party, and we celebrated a couple of other people's birthdays that night as well. We had a couple of surprise freestyle people that came. It was just a lot of fun. It was a great crowd. We packed the place. Music was banging. DJs were banging. I mean, it was just such a fun night. I think I'm still recuperating. I am still so tired. I've been drinking espresso after espresso to stay awake. I think getting home at 5:30 in the morning at my age, it definitely kicks my ass. But it was a lot of fun, and we thank everybody that came down and celebrated with us. Miami Mike said he had a great time, so awesome that he enjoyed his birthday. I also I enjoyed celebrating as well. I celebrated my birthday last Thursday at Giganti, and I thanked you guys all for coming as well. We had some really great birthday bashes this year. So actually, I want to invite you all as a personal, it's a personal invitation, and it means something to me. So this Thursday, so my dad's birthday is exactly 2 weeks after my birthday. So my dad's birthday is Thursday, May 2nd. And I believe he's going to be 76 years old. So I am at Giganti every Thursday night. I host there. We have DJ Surge. And I am cordially inviting you guys to come down. My dad isn't going to be there that late. We're going to probably grab a little dinner, and then we'll hang at the bar. So figure like anywhere after 7 p.m. if you guys want to come and come to the bar. Come wish my dad a happy birthday and celebrate with us. For those of you that do follow my show, my mom has dementia. My parents have been together over 50 years, and for the past, my God, it's going to be 3 years this summer, she is living in a facility because she can no longer take care of herself. And the holidays, any celebrations and stuff are a little tricky for us because now, I'm alone because I don't have my spouse, and my father is alone because he doesn't have his spouse. I mean, he goes and visits her every day, but obviously they're not going to be celebrating together. And so I talked my dad into coming because I don't want him to be alone. And he's actually really cool. Like, you will love my dad. I mean, you just were with my son for an hour, and he's pretty cool. I think I'm pretty cool. So my dad made me, so he's got to be pretty cool. So we're like a cool family. So if you guys are around Thursday night, Gigante, it's in Eastchester, New York, in Lake Isle. And there's valet parking. It's free to get in. The place is absolutely gorgeous. You can get something to eat. You can chill, have some drinks. DJ Surge is going to be on the mix, so the music will be great. But we will be there earlier. I always stay, but my father will not be there that late. I'm assuming by 10, 11 o'clock he will be leaving. So I invite you all to come to Gigante on Thursday night and come say happy birthday to my dad. His name is Neil. He is my best friend, and it would mean so much to me, and I know it would mean so much to him if you guys could come, if you're in the area. Even if you just stop by to say happy birthday and have a quick drink, it would really mean a lot to us. So I just want to remind you guys about our lineup. We have a lot of talented people on Miami Mike Radio. Mondays we have DJs. We have Luke at 1 o'clock. We have DJ Paulie, aka the Portuguese Prince, at 6 p.m. And then the first Monday of every month we have Rob Mush, Mind Candy Mondays, and I believe that's at 9. Tuesdays we have Steve, DJ Simply Nice, at 1. And then, of course, we have Real Talk with Karen Stacy at 8 p.m. Wednesdays, we have The Loyal Listeners with May and Hamilton Czar. And shout out to Tony Sinapi, because I see that he's finally going to be a loyal listener on the Mayhem Loyal Listener show. So we both complained because neither one of us have ever been on the show. So I'm glad that they finally asked him and that he's finally getting on there, because I know that was important to him. So have a great show tomorrow. Thursday, we have Michael Anthony at 4 p.m. And then Frankie Maggs, new to the station, at 8. Frankie Maggs tore it up on Saturday night. Played a song that I freaking haven't heard. I love He Had Me at Hello. Friday, we have Steve, DJ Simply Nice, at 8 p.m. Followed by Mr. Tony Sinapi, his Friday night sessions at 10 p.m. Saturdays, we have the Ghazi Show at 8 p.m. And then we have my 19th favorite DJ, Anthony Mangini, at 10 p.m., who was also tearing it up. Oh, and Tony was tearing it up. Everybody was tearing it up. And then Sundays, we have coming soon Anthony Grimaldi. So you guys got to, tune in to all of our live shows. Subscribe, follow us. MiamiMikeRadio.com. Thank you guys all for the support. Thanks for staying with me this amount of time. And again, please, if sharing is caring. So if you feel that anything we discussed today, on children and stuff would be helpful for anybody, share it and let people know. I will be posting the recorded version of this on my Mixcloud within the next day or two. So I love you guys as always. I will see you next Tuesday. If you guys can come on Thursday to Gigante, it would be amazing to see you all for my dad's birthday, listening to DJ Surge and your hostess with the mostest, Miss Karen Stacy. All right, I love you guys.